Morning, Deb.
Good morning, Kate. And good morning, whoever's decided to join us next to the fire. How's that fire crackling this morning, Kate?
It's beautiful. I mean, it's completely inappropriate to have a fire at 11 a.m. on a Monday morning, but it's a real luxury and it's helping me relax.
And this is, I think, the theme for this month is relax. And in that is an invitation that nothing is inappropriate and that all is well. And so if one chooses to have a fire at 11 a.m., there is no rules. If it's calming and relaxing, you can go right ahead. So welcome, everybody. I hope that a few of our practitioners will pop up throughout the actual session. And this is our second Fireside Chat. So last month was Honor, and if people haven't picked up already, this month is about relax. So like with all Fireside Chats, we're going to do a little bit of teasing out about what relaxation is and how that impacts us on many layers, our health and our well-being on the many layers that we are. And then share a practice, maybe even talk a little bit about what's happening with our energies at this point. And then I invite people to join us throughout the month to invite a period or element of relaxation into their daily lives. So, Kate, to kick us off, what does relaxation mean to you?
Well, I think relaxation is something that we're born being able to do really, really well. Most children, that fall asleep at the drop of a hat, feel safe, feel comfortable, and as long as their needs are attended to, they can let go into the bosom of their family, into feeling safe and contained. And I think that's our natural birthright. And I think certain things happen along the way that stop that being so. But relaxation to me is a state of being connected and feeling safe and feeling like everything is there for us and things aren't happening to us. That kind of an understanding that we're being held.
It's interesting you actually say that about the child and that it's our birthright, because when I feel into relaxation at the core of it, it's about being comfortable with who we are and not putting expectations on ourselves. And I think the more expectations, be it our belief systems, our societal issues, or an expectation we place on ourselves, the more we become stressed in not actually achieving that. So for me, what you've just said there is, as a child, we come in with the ability to relax. And as we go, maybe we add more layers on what is expected or what we should be that actually heightens relaxation. From that perspective, though, there's been a lot to talk about how even on a physical level, relaxation actually can have significant health benefits. In your experience, what do you see some of those to be?
Well, I'm a yoga teacher and have been for well over 20 years, coming up for 30, actually. Let's not go there. So relaxation is at the crux of what we do. What I have tended to reformulate yoga as I go on through my practice, how I think about it is trauma release. So, there's a whole lot of things that happen to one that stop you being able to breathe 100%, that stop you being able to just let go physically 100%, that stop you being able to just focus on one thing. And every little insult to the body, be it physical, mental, spiritual, along the way, that can be as simple as, your best friend yelling at you, or nearly getting hit by a bus, or whatever it is. There's many things that can happen and do in one's life. So all of those lead to a contraction and a condensing and a tightening and a defending. And so with yoga, it's all about unraveling that and getting back into just being fully present and comfortable to be fully present. So for me, that's what relaxation is. And in that state, there's so many benefits to your blood system, your lymph flow, your nervous system, your capacity to be social, etc., etc. I think, relaxation is definitely our birthright. And the sooner that we all get back to there as a mob, the better. But it's taking a bit of doing.
And if people aren't aware, my therapies are vast, but there's also energetic healing is probably my core being of what my practice was. And what you're saying there is, and on an energetic level, is also true to a lot of work we did was around our beliefs and our things that were holding us back. And to allow ourselves to come back into that relaxation space was to allow for us to surrender and to trust, and to allow for things to sometimes to float. And why I say that is that only as recent this morning when speaking to someone, they a beautiful centered person, very generous, but always wanting to jump in and fix things for people because they don't want to see people hurting. But in doing so, therefore fuels their day with doing other things for other people and forget that at the core, she needs to look after herself. So relaxation to me, as we've touched on, is something that we naturally are when we allow and when we surrender and we put our needs and our physical needs as a priority as well. And I see relaxation, you talked about breathing, which is obviously something we all do, but that to me is that essence of breathing, coming back to the breath. Just for a short moment or two can really allow that fight and flight response to be lowered, and for the body to actually feel that it isn't under attack, and that relaxation state can return to the body, which we can do in a split second. It doesn't mean we have to carve out hours. I know sometimes we have this view that relaxation means I've got to find a couple of hours in a day, and that's beautiful if you can. But sometimes it's just being in the moment and coming back, centering, breathing, and allowing for things to occur. So at the moment, we've got the beautiful new moon of Taurus, and that has come with us this week. And what does that mean for you when I say that, Kate?
The new moon in Taurus is what a great place to start relaxation, really, because for me, Taurus is exactly what we accomplish when we're relaxed. It's that grounded energy where we feel connected and, connected to ourselves, connected to the planet, connected to the energy of the planet, connected to each other, etc. So for me, my Taurian friends have always been warm and inviting and very concerned about whether I'd had enough tea to drink. And, was there enough food on the table and how was I doing? So it's a very beautiful kind of energy, I guess, that's coming in right now. Yeah. And it's also coming into winter. So it's that natural calming down into a quiet sense of being.
Yeah, working with the seasons is so important. Interestingly, I'm a Taurian with a Taurian ascendant, Kate. So
of course
I'm one of those beautiful Taurian friends that check in. But it's supposed to be, it's known to be the most sensual sign, as opposed to the sexual, which is the opposite of the Scorpion. And it's because the Taurian is of the experiencing life through its senses. So through its smell, through its taste, through its warmth, all the senses that our body, sight that our body actually gives us, the Taurian derives pleasure of. And it's also the bull. And I don't know if you know that story. Is it Fernando the bull that there's a book on that he often sits in the paddock chewing his grass and just underneath the tree and just relaxing. And to me, that's that essence of Taurian, of steadfast, but also just being in the moment and enjoying what the simple things in life and what life can actually bring us. So I think in a beautiful new moon of Taurus, we all get the invitation with new moon to set the seeds for what we want to bring in for the new month. And with the Taurian energy, all about experiencing life through our senses and being steadfast, being, solid, taking our time. What a beautiful time to bring in relaxation. So I suppose we're giving that invitation to everybody, aren't we? That for this month is to really explore what relaxation means for them, but it's also, I suppose, an acknowledgement that it is their birthright to do so.
Absolutely. And, it comes back again to the SoulAdvisor tagline of nourish yourself, heal our world. You can't heal our world unless you're feeling relaxed And, we need to continually be the change we want to see, as that old saying goes. So I personally would love a world where we were relaxed and where people didn't move away from that state of connection that they have as a child into the fairly awful states that we get ourselves into as we become adults. The rates of depression, the rates of disconnection, the rates of addiction, etc., say that this is not a relaxed society. And I'd like to see our society swap back there. And I really applaud all that we're doing here at SoulAdvisor with all the practitioners that are part of us to helping the world become well again, relaxed again, at peace. Connected, understood, full of purpose, etc., etc. And it doesn't surprise me at all that you're a Taurian with Taurus rising.
Yeah, Taurus. Yeah, that's it. But you're exactly right. You've touched on our tagline. It's nourish yourself, heal our world. And I think that's, in the essence of that is we're often asked, what can we do in this? There's many layers of what's happening in our world today, and we watch and say, well, what can I physically do to contribute that? And I suppose with relaxation, what we're saying is that it can come back to the core. And if we all were to nourish ourselves and come back to that relaxed state, then the relationships that we hold and how we interact with the world would be at peace and would be in that space. So it does come back to ourselves and what we do as well.
Yeah.
Now, while we've been talking, I decided I would actually take a little Guy card out for us. Now, Guy obviously is reflective of our beautiful mother and the energy that she has, which is very Taurian. So I thought we could draw a little card, and then we're going to go into a practice, Kate. So would that work with what you've got planned for everybody?
Absolutely, it would.
Oh my God, this is what popped up. Can you see that?
Yes, now I can. Yin yang.
Oh my heavens, huh?
Very interesting considering the practice that I'd chosen.
And also with what we've been just talking. So it says yin yang and connection to Japanese yoga that we had last month about creating harmony through balance. So when that card comes up, obviously, as you said, it's something to do with what we have. But I'm just going to sort of read the affirmation that card actually says. It says, I love and accept all that I am. There is nothing to change. There is only love. Every aspect of me serves both me and others in some way. I create health, wealth, and harmony by loving what is. All I accept and love transforms to even greater love. Does that not capture relaxation?
It most certainly does. And so I'd love to go into a little bit of a practice. It's let's just do 2 to 3 minutes, shall we? Let's see. I'm not going to time it. But it's a practice that many of you may know already called Nadi Shodhana, which means balancing the left and the right channels and the left and the right brain. Move over so you can see the fire a bit. Hold on. There we go. All right. So the way that I like to practice Nadi Shodhana is the traditional Tibetan way. Some of you will have been taught to do it like so, but we're going to do it like this. All right. So when the breath comes up through your left nostril, it moves and stimulates your right hemisphere. When the breath comes up your right nostril, it moves and stimulates the left hemisphere. And in a normal, happy, healthy, relaxed person, there's a little bit of a rhythm, which is your left nostril is dominant for 50 minutes. And then both channels are dominant together for 20 minutes. And then your right channel is dominant for 50 minutes. And it just keeps moving gently backwards and forwards to create a balanced individual who's very left brain, right brain balanced, etc. When you're out of whack, as we often are, then that rhythm gets disturbed. So Nadi Shodhana helps us to contact that rhythm again and just feel into it a little bit and really stabilizes the entire nerve system. So if we bring our hand up under our nose and allow yourself to straighten where you're sitting or standing, feeling your sitting bones pulling downwards and feeling the top of your head pull upwards. And just become aware of yourself breathing, letting your eyes close if you like. Feeling that flow of air into the body and out of the body. And let's start very slowly by tilting the hand to block your right nostril and breathing into the count of 4, 2, 3, 4. And then letting the hand tilt again, holding the breath. 2, 3, 4. Tilt the hand the other way so the breath comes out your right nostril. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Allow the breath in through the right nostril. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Out through the left nostril. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Gently in left nostril. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in between your eyebrows. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out the right nostril. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Allow the breath back in through your right nostril, expanding your belly to draw the breath in. 3, 4. Hold the breath in. 2, 3, 4. Allow the breath to flow out through the left nostril. 3, 4. Hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Back in through the left. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in. Focus between your eyes. 3, 4. Continue breathing out through the right nostril by yourself. And just keep that rhythm going. However slow or fast you want to count to 4. Just for another few rounds. And then very gently dropping your hand, and although it won't be as thorough, continuing on with that same breath, just focusing to see the next 2 rounds whether you can draw the breath in one side, hold the breath, and out through the other side without the hand. Noticing as you continue that not just your right nostril, but the whole right side of your body expands to draw that breath in, or the whole left side. Making that breath a whole body experience. Focusing your awareness, becoming more and more exquisitely aware of the feeling of that breath moving through your nostrils, the expansion of holding the breath, and the contraction of releasing the breath. And then gently drawing your attention back to evening the breath between both nostrils, breathing in. To the count of 4, holding the breath. To the count of 4, releasing the breath. To the count of 4, holding the breath out. To the count of 4. And continuing to do that just for another 2 breaths. And then gently opening your eyes and coming back into the Zoom room.
Thanks, Kate. So that practice, when would you recommend someone would do that?
Oh, well, I find it useful just before bed. I also find it useful just as you wake up, because sometimes you wake up and the first thought is, I've got so much to do, or here comes the day, or whatever that looks like. And it's just good to practice that. There's a lot of different ways to practice it, but just doing a really simple few minutes helps stabilize everything. And if you don't have time for a full 20-minute meditation practice, then it's a really good way to just relax your system, because we know energetically if we go out into the world relaxed, then that's what comes back to us. So it'll be a better day if you start the day with it, and it will be a better lot of dreams if you leave the day and do it before you sleep.
I could really visualize when I was going on one side and then coming up the other. So my body, so with just the intent and the focus as well, bring that in as much as the drawing in and the out of the breath, that you've actually got the focus of the left and the right. Would that also assist with the 2 sides coming together?
It really does, yeah. And it's, as with all things, they're only practices. They point to something that's continually true. That's the way to bring our mind to that. But of course, the left and the right are continually interacting in both sides of our body. And the more we can make that stable, the more relaxed we'll be.
So that's something you could do, even, as you say, in the morning when you wake up, to set up the day, in the evening after, as part of your routine as you're going to sleep. It could also something that, you could do, because you showed us without the hands, you could do as a focus thing, even just standing waiting in a shopping queue, or, in your car, or, you could fit that into somewhere in your day that would allow you to bring. So I think the key for us this month is to acknowledge the benefits of relaxation at a physical level, but also on an energetic and emotional level, and a spiritual level as well, I suppose, is that we come back to the core of who we are, letting go of expectations, surrounding ourselves with things that uplift, making sure that we give ourselves our wellness a priority and nourish ourselves, because if we nourish ourselves, we contribute to the world that we live in. And then finding ways to do that, because sometimes it is tricky. There is a lot of things that are happening that people need to juggle, and we're not dismissing that, but there is ways that you can be more empowered in what you bring to yourself by finding those little moments. So that's a great practice. Kate.
It always helps, Deb. It's a circuit breaker. It's like when I learned to ride a horse, and that can be quite terrifying, a bit like life. And the instructor said, just swing your horses, pretend your legs on the horses, and the horse will think you've done it before. So it's just that little thing of putting out what you want to receive back, of just keeping calm, knowing that you're all right in every single moment, no matter what that moment brings. And then that moment will bring what you need it to bring, rather than you resisting or blocking.
Yeah. Which to me, as I said, it's that relax, isn't it? It's that trust, that surrender, and just to allow And, if in looking at the card that we pulled, it was very much about not putting judgment on something being bad or parts of yourself as not being good enough or whatever. Everything serves its purpose. Everything has balance. Everything has been there for a reason. And even parts that you think may not have been what you've wanted, when you sit back at it, sometimes it has created other things, resilience, strength, and understanding of who you are. So sometimes the most challenging times are the places where we grow the most. And I know that might sound really cliche, and at the time it's not dismissing or minimizing it, but it's just, this is a life experience. And so even some of those things that we sometimes put a judgment call on and be shamed for or whatever, it actually, there was a part of our own development that occurred, and owning that as well. And that to me is where relaxation goes beyond just the physical meditative practice or, sitting and relaxing in a chair, which is important, but relaxation goes beyond just the physical component of it. So
letting go into the flow.
Letting go into the flow. That could be our catchphrase for the month. So, Kate, is there anything else that we want to touch on relaxation before we let people know how they can connect with us this month?
No, I don't think so. Let's let people know how they can connect.
Beautiful. So as we know, we've got our newsletter coming out next week. So for anyone that hasn't, really recommend you subscribe so you can get all our tips and practical advice that our practitioner community is bringing together, and a beautiful special offer to connect with them. We've got the lovely Illuminate series happening. And so on the 16th of May, we're going to be co-hosting with the Australian Centre of Meditation and Mindfulness and their coaches there, Lisa Ford and her beautiful coaches, again exploring what relaxation and meditation and mindfulness and how I suppose that can be brought into the everyday with some practical strategies as well. We've got lovely articles that are coming through in our Your Sanctuary, and obviously our different podcasts and things like that. And I think we've actually even created a Spotify music playlist, Kate.
We have. There's 134 songs on there, 135, sorry. Danny Caputo, who's recently joined us, gave us our last one, which is a beautiful theme song for the month. But there's and I encourage everybody to look down through our posts. I think it was the post before this one at the very end. You can click onto that song and have a listen, but you can also click onto that entire Spotify playlist. If you're not a Spotify member, you'll just need to get a free Spotify account. But there's some beautiful songs, and we've had so much input from our different therapists. It's been really lovely to put that together.
So this is streaming today into our practitioner community. So obviously, that is both on a personal and as a practitioner, you could use that in your clinics as well. But what we might do as well, when we put this onto our YouTube, we'll add it to the list of all the different ways that people can connect with us at the same time. And if they want to, they can go to that Spotify list and again, have another interaction with the practitioners that have put their favorite relaxation music into the mix.
Yes, so, and also an invitation out to anybody who suddenly has a brainwave around relaxation or wants to share something around relax. We can always post that out there to the wider community if you feel it would be beneficial.
Fantastic. Okay, well, that to me is this month, our Fireside Chat and Relaxation. Thanks once again, Kate, for putting on the fire.
Well, I did. It's not too successful. We'll get closer to discussing a few embers.
Well, like all beautiful fireside chats, we enjoyed it while it glowed. And thanks again for your beautiful wisdom as always, Kate. Thank you for being part of SoulAdvisor community and being part of Fireside Chat with myself here and our wider audience. And have a beautiful month. And hope that people get to choose how they want to interact with us. But it's a month where we're inviting relaxation. What a glorious month for the Taurian people and people that would love to align with Taurian energy to have.
Relax, relax, relax. Thank you, Deb. Thank you for all you do.
You too, Kate.